But we understand what this is. It's not that it's actually going to offset emissions, okay? The level of reduction is infinitesimal, but they're trying to recruit your kids into climate politics at an earlier age. Make them climate conscious now.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. You're right. They're going after the children.
Of course they are. But again, what...
Hello. My name is NicholassRivas. I talk about politics and stuff. And today we're going to be talking about how the Xbox, Microsoft company, came out and said that they're trying to make a carbon net device, their Xbox Series X. Their goal and mission statement is basically to make a carbon aware system where it's not wasting as much power, it's not wasting unnecessary power, right? You can download your games, play your games, but it's just not on and continuously using power more than it should be. Most devices already have this. I don't know about the Switch, but I do think there is a setting like this on the Sony PlayStations, and the Xbox One even had this sort of like power saving mode in a sense. But when you go on the Xbox, there is this little leaf and it's like, hey, do you want to save power? Here's your power saving mode. You know, we won't needlessly update, you know, where we don't have to, and yada, yada, yada. A lot of these devices will stay on and want you to stay on so they can update 24/7. I think Xbox still wants to do that, but the mindset is that you can cut out some corners and waste less power. So when I first heard this, I thought, oh, they're just trying to save your electric bill and look nice in front of the climate carbon aware people. But I then hear that Fox News is going off about it. So I watched the clip. I kept hearing about the clip, and they say it's to brainwash your kids. Now, let's get it first and foremost. It's not political to be thinking about the climate. Like, it's not. I mean, to most people, it's not. If I were to say, like, oh, you know, I want to watch my carbon footprint, it's the truth. Like, hey, we all exert some sort of energy, some sort of power waste in this world. That's not political. Now, people have this weird, like, sense. Maybe it's an American mindset that, like, I'm trying to take away your privilege and right to eat hamburgers, to use your car. And it's like, look, man, you can think that all you want, but the truth is, if, say, there's 5 gallons of water in a town and you drink 3 gallons of it, I'm like, oh, whoa, we're really running out of water. You can't look at me and go, oh, climate science, oh, you know, you go like, okay, there's truth and facts. If there is cars putting out energy and ruining our planet, then you would be like, okay, it's not political, it's just the truth. If that's the truth. And there are many climate activists who believe that humans are, since the Industrial Revolution, causing a climate change in our world that could be disastrous to humans. That's all they're saying. And companies, big corporations, have pushed against this. So at the end of the day, I'm a betting man, and I believe that, yeah, it's fairly common that we've just been brainwashed and companies just want to cut corners. I mean, it happened before the APA. People were throwing shit in the water and ruining our lives, and we didn't catch it until later. And then we had to make institutions to protect our safety and health from corporations who were just going to cut corners, you know? And so that's the mindset. It's not political to be factual. It's just not, right? And I know facts are not straightforward. They're not just 2 + 2. If a climate activist is going to destroy a company, we have to think about that. Like, hey, we all got to live and survive here, right? Why should my time on this planet be miserable because I'm worrying about what's going to happen 1,000 years from now? That's a fair sentiment, right? Even though I think it's selfish, it's fair because we're all just trying to survive. But I think if there's efforts to reduce that, which is Xbox, I don't believe they are. I believe it's just theater. It's nice that they think about it, I guess. Like, it's nice that they're hearing it out and say, hey, maybe we should, you know, take our foot off the gas pedal. It's not political, right? If anything, it's just this nice sentiment, but it's just a sentiment, right? Like, whatever they do, I mean, they're still making these items and these devices just as they announced it. They announced like hoodies for the Xbox controllers. They serve no purpose. Controllers don't get cold. They're just aesthetic, right? But they're not recyclable. They're just cool looking things that are just going to end up in the waste one day. It's a fair critique to call these companies out. It's a fair critique to say that they don't care, but it's also a fair critique to say who gives a shit. They're not trying to brainwash your kids. If anyone's brainwashing your kids, it's institutions like the education system, but it's not because they have this nefarious big corporate climate. Like, is there even a thing? Is there big climate like stopping people from living? No, it's corporations. They're the ones stopping, but kids are learning because it's factually wrong to fuck up our planet. Like, if I threw paper on the floor and just said, fuck you, fuck this planet, people would be like, that's weird. That's what people are trying to paint in a broader stroke of like corporations and our efforts in climate change, is that, you know, if I were to litter, that's kind of gross. You're just a gross person ruining our planet because we all have to share it and live here. You can't just dump waste everywhere. We have to have rules and set ideas and work together to make sure that we're at least being as cleanly as possible. And we're not going to be here forever, but at least make it fucking habitable for as long as we're here and as much as we can. And so it's not political. Your kids aren't being brainwashed. They're just being told the same thing we've been told for years and years. Pick up after yourself and don't destroy this fucking planet with crude oil or, you know, burn down every tree just because you want to build a fucking Walmart. That's all people are asking for. But in the cases of the climate, they're brainwashing our kids. They're not. They're just trying to look cool in front of people. If they want to brainwash their kids, it's a setting on the Xbox that kids aren't even looking at. It's someone like me who's like, oh, I'm going to put my console in power saving mode. And by the way, they've been doing it since the Xbox fucking won. So obviously this isn't a thing. This isn't, no one's even caring about it, but climate change is like a really hot button topic. And I'm sure I'm going to hear from my closest family and friends, hey, you hear about these Xboxes trying to go woke. What does that even mean? It doesn't mean anything. They're just saying it just to say it. They just want to poke people. They don't care about the actual climate. I'm sure when the world gets too hot to handle, then they'll start crying. But as of now, it's just a cool thing to get money from because they're saying, hey, look at these crazy tree huggers. When in reality, it's been proven fact after fact, prediction after prediction has come true that our climate has changed because of human intervention. Yes, I know climate has had its ups and downs. We were in an ice age. Our planet was a lava pit of despair back in its first formations. But given that we are rapidly increasing its inhabitability and we are destroying this world because we want to go fast in our cars, it's really ridiculous to think that we can just set it a little bit back and maybe have a more efficient way of living and not be so car dependent, oil dependent. Stuff like this, where like water is going to run out one day. We should have a solution, but they sit there and go, oh, there's no problem. It just seems like every villain in a movie where it's like, there's no problem, don't worry, just keep drinking your juice, don't worry, don't look at outside. Water's going to run out. Oil's going to run out. We have to have sufficient ways of power and electricity and to keep the world that we're living in now. That's all people are asking. That's all people are saying because it's the truth. We don't have a forever amount of oil. It's a finite resource. Just as the planet is itself a finite resource that we habitate on, it's one day going to be gone. So if we can just reel it back in, all I'm saying is Xbox doesn't care. Neither does Fox News. They don't care about you. Xbox doesn't care about you. They're a company. They're just trying to get cool little points. And if you call them out for that, I don't care. But if you're saying that they're trying to brainwash your kids, you're just being ridiculous. It's just untrue. Xbox has had a pattern of doing this from the get-go, and I've heard nothing. It's only now because climate is a hot-button issue amongst a divided line of Republicans and Democrats, which makes no sense. Climate isn't political. Surviving this world isn't political. You're just being brainwashed by a corporation, just like we were back in the 80s and 90s with the American native man tearing up when he saw litter. It was a push by plastic companies to blame you, the consumer, for not throwing away efficiently when they should be not producing as much and not cutting corners as much just to make a profit. That's all it is. That's all we'll forever know. You should look it up, by the way. The Native American plastic commercials were just propaganda, but people don't know that because it's been so ingrained in our heads. So it is what it is. Xbox don't care. You don't care. This isn't a real issue. Thank y'all very much. Peace.